I mentioned in previous videos that he who has the most power is the one who wins. And this applies to dating, it applies to the stock market, it applies to the justice system. Everything in this life is a giant game of chess. And at the end of the day, it is all about power. And generally speaking, you always want to be the guy with more power. When it comes to women, everything that a man says, everything that a man does affects his level of power in one way or another. Now, it's so important to remember that whoever has the most power in any relationship is always going to be the most attractive. This is how it's always been. This is how it's always going to be. The one who has the most power is the one who is in charge. Now, sometimes the girl has all the power. Sometimes it's the guy. But always remember, where there is an absence of power, there is perceived weakness, and weakness can be exploited by those with great power. So what you're about to learn are the 5 rules of power that you must never break if you want to maintain the highest level of power among the girls that you interact with. Starting with number 1, chasing. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make if your goal is to maintain power, or if your goal is to maintain attraction, is simply to engage in the chase. Every day, tens of millions of men chase girls either in person, via text, or through social media. And even after they are passed over again and again and again, for the guys who don't chase girls, they still don't understand that every time you chase a girl, you are giving away some of your power. Every time you engage in the chase, you are subtracting from your total level of power, thus subtracting from your total level of attractiveness. See, things guys commonly do to chase girls without even knowing it half the time are things like approaching, talking more than she does, writing longer and more frequent text messages, sending her more text messages than she's sending you, complimenting her, and just showing high interest in general. You see, most high-value men find themselves not even having to approach women because they have so much power and status that generally women chase them. It's not wrong to do some chasing in the beginning, but it's kind of like casting out a fishing line, because after the initial cast, all that you're really looking to do is you're waiting for a bite and then you're looking to reel it in. See, guys with great game are able to move things forward with the girl without continuously chasing her. Now, ideally, what you want to do is you want the power to be tipped slightly in your favor, because if it's too much in her favor, what happens is you become unattractive to her. And if the power is too much in your favor, you've essentially become a PIMP. And even though that was Andrew Tate's preferred strategy, you can rest assured that this strategy is not the ideal one for most guys out there. Now, realistically, at the end of the day, you always want a girl to be chasing you more than you are chasing her. Number 2, investing. Every time you put in more effort, whether in person or via text, to meet up or to stay in contact with a girl, what you're really doing is you are over investing. It's like if I were to go to the store and I kept paying $10 for a shirt that's only worth $5. Eventually, the shirt is going to find me unattractive and leave me. You see, chasing a girl and investing in a girl are similar but different, because chasing is essentially where you're going out of your way to show her that you're interested, whereas investment is more like how much of your time and how much of your energy you're putting into her, or more specifically into a relationship. Now, in the context of a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, to keep most of the power on your side, what you want to do is you want to make sure that she is always investing a little bit more than you are investing. And on a day-to-day basis, this could be as simple as making sure that she's the one who's texting you all the time to tell you that she misses you. And even if you miss her like crazy, with girls, it is almost always better to simply act like you don't miss her nearly as much as she misses you, because that's how you avoid giving up your power. Now, despite what so many guys are raised to believe, in this modern world, a girl does not actually find it attractive when the guy is the one who's always telling her how much he misses her and how much he loves her. Girls do not actually want a man who does this, even though everything and everyone would have you believe otherwise. So rule number 2 is always invest slightly less than the other person. This works in relationships, it works in business, it works at the car dealership, and it works pretty much in every situation in life. Number 3, qualifying. Now, this might be difficult for some of you guys to believe, but most guys are already breaking this rule before they even meet a girl. Oftentimes, guys will do certain things in an attempt to qualify themselves for women in general, and qualifying yourself simply means to try to prove yourself. So in other words, you're saying to a girl before you ever even meet her, in a variety of different ways, I am doing all these different things because I want to prove myself to you. Or I'm doing these things in an attempt to qualify myself in the hopes that you will pick me. Some guys go to the gym to get into shape, but for what? The reason they do this is so that girls will hopefully find them attractive. So a man who has this mindset is literally qualifying himself to women in general before he has ever even met them, because it's all about your mindset. It's all about why you are doing something. If you're going to the gym and you genuinely believe that you are doing it, say, for the sole purpose of gaining strength because dudes used to pick on you when you were small and you want to make sure that if the need arises, you can defend yourself, that is not an attempt to qualify yourself. Going to the gym for the sole purpose of simply gaining more strength and becoming the strongest man that you can become is not an attempt to qualify yourself. Ideally, you always want to be the guy who is in the position of power. So something as simple as sending a girl a text saying that you only date girls who play Call of Duty is an example of getting her to qualify herself to you rather than the other way around. Now, the third rule of attraction power dynamics that a man should never break is doing things to prove or to qualify himself as a potential mate for her. Now, if you are truly a high value man, or a man with options, or at the very least, a man who appears to have many options, girls should be doing things to prove why they are a good fit for you. It's like if a girl has never seen a turbocharger in her life, but all of a sudden she's regularly acting super interested when you talk about such things, she is simply doing this to qualify or to prove herself to you. And for you, this will always be the position of greatest power as long as you have her doing these things. Number 4, more or less. Now, the underlying principle for all of this is really simple, and it's a matter of, does she view you overall as more than her? Or do you feel like you're the one who is lucky to have her? Now, on the surface, this might sound kind of narcissistic, but in the context of a man and a woman who are dating or in a relationship with each other, it's simply a matter of necessity. You see, on a biological level, females tend to date up, meaning they experience the greatest amount of attraction for men who they view as having more value than them, or for men who they view as being more than them. And this is especially true in the context of a full-on relationship, because it's always the one who both people subtly agree has the higher value who ends up having the most power in the relationship. You see, women will settle for a man who they view as their equal, but if you're the guy who she settles for, you'll never be in a position of power with her, and you will never be as attractive as you could be if you had chosen a girl who viewed you from the start as having more value than herself. You see, throughout your interactions with women, you always want to keep tabs on the things that you're doing on a daily basis, and you always want to think about whether those things are adding or subtracting from your total power, because the more things that you do that increase your power and the less things that you do that subtract it, the more that girls are going to be attracted to you now and pretty much forever. You see, every day, millions of men all over the world break the rules of power, and it's only after watching a YouTube video that they realize that there truly is a cause for everything. And now that you understand the cause, why not get out there? Why not get out there and do things that will add to your power rather than subtract from it? And with that said, until next time, as always, thank you guys so much for watching.